Well, good evening. Thought I'd already done this tonight, but apparently I didn't, and I don't know what I did wrong. So I'm trying to just quickly reactivate this and see what is going on with it. I ended it the last time to go on to check to see if it picked up, and it never even picked up. So something is amiss, and I cannot see the button that tells me I missed last time. Is it perhaps this? No, not that one. I've never used that one before until tonight. Send feedback. Everything looks copacetic here. I regret the time delay. I'm pushing all these looking at all these buttons to try to figure out what's going on. Wait a second. Did I just have two people? Somebody actually caught this? Please, 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 please. I've supposedly got live chat, so let me know I'm doing this. Let's see this. Welcome to live chat. I hit the button. Learn more. Let's try learn more. Oh, Christ. Get off of that page. It isn't going anywhere. Oh, fuck. I got to hit a submit button to go anywhere, apparently. Streaming tips. There we go. Well, actually, since I'm way out on this, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, people. Simple as that, but I suspect I am definitely doing something wrong here. It's almost like my camera is shutting off on me and simply not recording me. Now, I announced I was going to go live, and maybe the great gods of censorship land have laid a hold of me and censored me before I even had anything useful to say. But yeah, I don't seem to be going anywhere. I don't seem to be doing anything. So I'm going to try what I remember doing last time. Where is this enable? Click enable. There is no enable button. Go live. I did. Check enable. Enter phone. No, they will call. Stream cannot be created. Takes 24 hours. Got that. I am baffled by this. Doesn't take much for technology to baffle me, unfortunately. So I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. Hit the end stream. What does this arrow do? Share live stream. Ah, okay.
Figure it out, yeah.
No, but I know where I got the Facebook thing last time.
Oh, okay.
I was looking for this because I wanted to post it to Facebook too.
Yeah, share a link right there, Facebook.
Yeah, so I would just click it on share a link. Now, does that mean I will do both at the same time?
Hopefully it means you're going live at the same time, but I'm not sure, man.
I'm not sure. I wonder what this arrow does. Oh my God, Blogger. Oh, no, that's a whole bunch of different, I don't know even what they are, most of them.
Here, people, tune into this old fucker, and later on I'll get on here and we'll give you a real show.
Share live stream.
All right, Dad, have a good night.
Well, let's share it to Facebook and see what happens here.
What happens, man? Can't hurt.
Well, hopefully I'm doing this on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm going to find out. So I'm going to spend a few minutes. Tonight I was intended to talk about the great pandemic of 2020. You know, the hit of the year in the music business, apparently. But I was getting nowhere, not knowing I was even actually live. When I went back to check it on YouTube, I couldn't find it. Now we'll give it a quick another shot. I'm sorry I'm going to rush through this. Hopefully you'll pick it up later and get some following to it, because I'm getting nowhere, and it really ticks me because I told everyone I would be on from 6:30 to whatever. I'm way behind on that schedule. First comment to make is pandemics aren't what they used to be. To start with that, we have to go with what exactly is a pandemic. And for that, I went to the definition from the good old World Health Organization, compliments of Dr. Kaiji Fukada, who, whatever time he made the statement, I got this off of the internet somewhere, said a pandemic was a global illness and widespread of a disease that causes an illness. That isn't my pandemic or my definition of a pandemic. I thought a pandemic, to be a pandemic, must kill huge numbers of people beyond your normal death cycles. Good examples of pandemics are the Black Plague of the 1300s, estimated to kill between 75 and 200 million people around the world, and at a time when the world population was only estimated at 475 million. That's one. The Spanish flu, 1918, 1919, reported to have killed 68 million worldwide, out of a total population of 1,762,000,000, rounded off. Now, those, to my way of thinking, were pandemics. Kill a huge number of people. Second part of the definition, to my definition of a pandemic, is it kills indiscriminately. It kills regardless of age, regardless of health. It just kills indiscriminately right across the board. It kills infants. It kills, youth. It kills healthy adults. It certainly kills the aged, just like what we're seeing. The death rates we're seeing are primarily amongst the aged population. So, one, does our great pandemic of 2020, is it killing large numbers of people out of the normal death cycles? Well, the normal death cycle in Canada over the last decade has varied between 0.07% and 0.08% of the population totals. Statistics. From the year, not a calendar year, the year from July 1st of 2019 to June 30th of 2020, stated the total deaths in Canada at that time were 30,000. Where did we go here? 30,031 people out of an estimated population of 37,740,000, again rounded off, an increase of 1,285 people in terms of actual number for the same time period in the year before, which of course would have ended in June 30th of 2019. Well, guess what, people? That's 0.08% of the Canadian population. There's no excess deaths. That's not only true in Canada. That's true to the United States. United States, they have a slightly higher norm for their death rate. They're about 0.084%. And these aren't 1%, it's 0.084. And as of August, as of November 2020, there was no great spike in the overall death rate in the United States either. In fact, I'm going to refer to an article that was published by the CDC in August of 2020. It said at that time, the reported number of deaths due to COVID in the U.S. was 161,392. However, only 9,700 were due to COVID by itself. So that was 6% of the deaths counted as COVID. 94% of the deaths counted as COVID had at least an average of 2.6 additional conditions, such as heart disease, diabetes, sepsis, any respiratory disease whatsoever. So, 94% had other factors that played into it. Again, it doesn't indicate a drastic spike in overall death rates. And the same is true in most of the countries of Europe. I got my information, and right now it's escaping me. I got piles of paper and piles of research laying all over the place. I'm almost choking to death on piles of paper. But I believe it was researchcanada.ca commented on situations in Europe in different articles. And the consensus was the overall, the normal overall death rates weren't spiking at all. They weren't spiking. They were within norms, not a massive number of deaths over previous years' death rates. A group in Belgium, I am told, medical professionals, are on the verge of suing the World Health Organization for promoting a false pandemic. I'm in agreement with those people. This is a false pandemic. Another group in Germany, and I wish I could find that. Never find the piece of paper when I want it. Had very similar things to say about it. Maybe I can. Damn it. I lose more paper than I make money, and I don't make that much money. Anyway, they had very, very similar results. They were saying, there is no great spike in death rates. What they did say, and which when you think about it, you can understand a little bit more, is, the so-called COVID pandemic is killing the same people that normally die in the flu pandemics or epidemics. There's a cyclical pattern to deaths by flu, influenza, pneumonia, that sort of thing. You can see actual charts, and year after year they show the same basic outline, and they show the same basic demographics. That's the key. The people who are dying in large numbers, whether it be COVID or whether it be influenza, pneumonia, whatever, are the elderly. Yes, we've probably got more deaths amongst the elderly this year and last year too, in fact, for one simple reason. And the reason is this. Remember the baby boom? 1946 to 1965, although 64 and 65 were really downer years in the baby boom cycle compared to the earlier years. But during those years, there was a tremendous upswing in the number of births. We had just been through the Second World War and a huge loss of life there. There was a need to, and a desire to, replace those who had been lost. I'm going to tell you about something about Canada's population in the last decade. In 2011, aka Canada Census for that year, it recorded, rounded off, 4.9 million seniors in Canada. In 2016, 5 years later, another census, the number of seniors in Canada had risen from 4.9 million to 5.9 million. So in that time period right there, we had 5 million more, or no, we had a full million more senior citizens than the norm. I don't know about the norm, but more. There's more seniors out there to be affected by these things and to, get sick, die. I mean, every year, except in the war years, but every year, percentage-wise for age groups, the highest percentage of deaths fits into the senior citizen category. Year after year after year after year, more people in the senior citizen category die percentage-wise than in the other age groups. That's true of all the stuff going on here in Canada and all the stuff going on in the United States. The largest percentage of deaths attributed to COVID are in the senior citizen group. Long-term care homes, in specifically. Now, let's be realistic about long-term care homes. A common definition is that's where you go to die. You can't look after yourself. You're either an immense burden to your family and they can't look after you, or in some cases they don't want to look after you. Okay. Long-term care homes. Every year, people die in long-term care homes in large numbers percentage-wise compared to the general population. That's the case for 2020. COVID. COVID death here, COVID death there, COVID death here. We've all heard stories, at least those of you who have access to non-mainstream news, have heard stories about people saying, my father had stage 3 cancer, stage 4 cancer. He was 78, he was 79, he was 80. He died. And guess what? They called it COVID. No factoring in, the already existing conditions. It was COVID. That's COVID. I've heard of things as silly as saying guys killed in a car accident. They run a test, although I don't know how they could. But there's stories of them running tests. Oh, yep, he had COVID. It's a COVID death. In the States especially, there's stories, and I believe it's the same here in Canada, the stories on the non-mainstream news about how each hospital receives more funding based on the number of COVID deaths and COVID cases they have. Yeah, okay. I'm being quite straightforward here. I don't believe we have a pandemic. Not based on the excess death condition. Not based on the across-the-board demographically condition. Well, now, if we don't have a pandemic, and we use Canada as an example, the federal government is pushing this pandemic stuff down our throats and spending billions of dollars to prevent a pandemic that doesn't exist. What's going on and why? Those are the questions. Why? The best prof I had going through university and teachers college was my history prof in teachers college, and he taught me the value of the question why. Why are you teaching that? Why are you teaching it that way? Why? Why are we promoting a false pandemic and spending billions of dollars? Well, if money's involved, the simple question is, qui beneficiae? The old Latin proverb. Who benefits? Yeah, who benefits? This pandemic goes a little farther than who benefits. But obviously that's part of it, and a major part of it for many of the players. But yeah, I'm disgusted by the restrictions on personal freedoms for a pandemic that doesn't exist. If we're going to concentrate efforts anywhere in this so-called pandemic, they should be on the senior citizens. And bear in mind, people, that every year, I think it's something like 4% normally die off in any given year, 4 or 5%. I don't have exact stats on that. We say the death rate in Canada in general is less than 1%, 0.08. The death rate in the senior citizens category is probably 4 to 5%. You're welcome to check me on that. I don't know the exact stats, but we know that for a fact. There's no denying it. Concentrate the efforts there. Lock down the whole damn economy. Restrict people's freedom of expression, censorship, and it's very real in this country. Censor the news. Let nary a negative comment about the pandemic itself, or more especially about these wonderful vaccines, savior of mankind, vaccines. You're going to force people to take vaccines for a pandemic that has a death rate of less than 1%. Something's fishy there. The key beneficiary is obvious in one respect. Who benefits? Big Pharma. Yeah, Big Pharma. When all the little stores and all the little shops are shut down, who benefits? Well, obviously, the big multinational corporations that are all open. Costco, McDonald's, Walmart, those big multinational corporations. And, the big food stores, although little food stores can stay open. But nonetheless, for anything other than that, you're basically cycled into either online shopping, and who is that? A big multinational corporation by the name of Amazon, and all those other ones I mentioned. It's quite obvious, who benefits. Our damn prime minister even had the nerve to say the pandemic was good for business. Right. Killing all the little small independent tradesmen, all the little small independent business is good for business. Well, perhaps for Mr. Trudeau and his friends, it is good for business. People are being forced to buy from the things they have huge quantities of money invested in. They reap tremendous dividends out of it. And the other agenda, which I'll get to in another podcast. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to end this stream too. I spent 25 on the first, and somehow it didn't get out there. So I'm going to spend roughly 25 minutes on my second attempt. I'm going to end the stream. Now, to my way of thinking, there should be a save button here somewhere. I don't see it. And maybe that's my problem. Somehow between my poor efforts at setting up a podcast, which are on the YouTube channel, I'll get it right this time. Disappointed to see 0 viewers, but I'm about an hour behind the schedule I told everyone on my friends list on Messenger about. Not a single view. Or shows 1 view. That's probably me viewing myself. So I'm going to end the stream and try to figure out what is going on. Why isn't this picking up in my stream on YouTube? Why isn't it picking up my stream on Facebook? I am going to go to save to Facebook. So if nothing else, it'll get on that. But I went on YouTube because Facebook doesn't reach very many people. YouTube can. And I have a message. I'm not being paid to do this, people. I refuse to be paid to do this. I'm doing something called civic duty, and responsibility to my fellow Canadians, my family first and foremost, my friends next, and Canada as a whole next. That's why I'm doing this. I think we're all being scammed. We're being led down a garden path to somewhere that doesn't sit with my personal belief system at all. Thank you. Please, you can contact me on my email too to tell me did you or did you not see this. My personal email is William, everything's small case, I'll tell you that right off the bat, small case letters, William IV as in Victor at hotmail.com. I have live chat on this so-called broadcast, so you can actually say something on the broadcast. But I only show at the most one person following it. That worries me. What am I doing wrong? I got this message to get out, people, and I want to get it out. Thank you.